Hello, and welcome to my lovely home. You may be wondering, who am I? Where are you? And how did you get here? These questions will all be answered in just a few short moments. But before then, let's take a trip to the theater room. Welcome to my theater room. It's quite nice, isn't it? Now come on, take a seat if you will. I have something important to show you. See, I told you the seats were comfortable. Now, shh, the movie's starting. Hello, and welcome to my lovely home. Oh dear, it appears you've hit your head and forgotten everything on your way here. Oh, well, don't worry. I have all the answers to all of your questions. But what would jog your memory? A quick lesson on film. Where to begin? Where to begin? Oh, I know just where. Martin Scorsese. Does that ring any bells? You may know him as the director of Goodfellas, The Wolf of Wall Street, or Silence. Personal favorite of mine. Or perhaps you may know him as the pufferfish from Shark Tales. Oh, it seems you've remembered something? Oh, all you remembered was how good Martin Scorsese was as the pufferfish in Shark Tales. Well, at least you've remembered something. Let's keep going then. Did you know that Martin Scorsese doesn't consider Marvel movies film? Of course they're movies, but in a New York Times article, he says that they don't qualify, for him at least, to be considered films. What does he mean by this? He goes on to explain that for him, films are more about emotion and provoking thoughts that go beyond the big screen. He digs deeper into the problem. He explains that big budget sci-fi fantasy action blockbusters are saturating the market. They're the only thing that get people into theater seats. Nobody wants to go watch a real film. Like The Irishman. What exactly is the problem with that? If people want to see a big budget sci-fi action fantasy blockbuster blowout, how does that affect the film industry? Well, in an article by Chris Lindahl on IndieWire, he questions whether or not studios would ever take risks on something that might only make a few $1,000,000 when big CGI blockbuster blowout sci-fi fantasies like Endgame are making $2.8 billion in the box office. With that being said, let's be real. Who cares? People want to watch big sci-fi fantasy, big blockbuster blowout. So what? Movie make money, must be good. No problem. But that's not the only problem with this film industry. What I'll be focusing on is the inclusivity challenges in the film industry. Did you know that in 2019, only 19 out of the 125 wide studio releases were directed by women? I didn't know that. Did you also know that only 18% of movies made in 2019 were directed by filmmakers of color? I didn't know that either. But again, how is that a problem for the film industry? Before we dig into that, I think it's important to discuss what makes film such a great art form. In an article written by Suresh Siddhakaran, she breaks down the basic principles of each medium and how they ultimately lead into each other, most notably film. Film itself is made up of two separate devices, audio and video, two of the five senses. And if you include smell-o-vision, then it's three. These two or three senses combined to make film a great conductor of emotion. And emotion is what art is all about. If your art does not convey emotion, then what does it do? With that being said, how does that have anything to do with the inclusivity challenges in the film industry? Well, for starters, To truly create an experience that conveys emotion and transcends the medium, you're going to need multiple different perspectives. And if all of those perspectives are big blockbuster CGI blowouts directed by a white man, is the media transcending the perspective of the director themselves, the white man? Do you see what I'm saying? No, probably not. Do you remember anything yet? No, probably not. Related to the topic, the University of Chicago itself states that film has been used for over a century by many different cultures as a primary medium of storytelling, as a way of engaging human senses and conveying emotion. Did you know that? Maybe I did. Circling back to Scorsese's view on the saturation of big blockbuster CGI fest blowouts, Sean Everta, in his article on Hollywood Insider in the category Innovate or Die, he states that after 100 years of film, he states there's not much more to innovate on. You can always get better cameras, better microphones, but the one thing you can't get with money is creativity. And according to Sean, creativity is the only thing bringing the audience back to the theater. Oh, you think you've regained your memory? That's great. Then do you remember why you're here? Yes, that's correct. I'm actually a therapist. This whole thing was conjured up with the sole purpose of helping you regain your memory. You didn't lose it on the way here. You lost it years ago. I've been trained by the CIA to help those like you remember through the art of video essays. Well, we sure did learn a lot today. Isn't that great? I hope you enjoyed the ride. I hope you didn't notice how this entire thing fell apart and how I slowly went insane over the course of recording this video. Congratulations on regaining your memory. I hope you have a great day. Well, wasn't that an excellent film, if I do say so myself? Congratulations on sitting through the entire thing. You're free to go. Oh, I haven't answered any of your questions? Well,